Welcome to episode 10. I'm Neil.
I'm Pat.
I'm Michael.
And this is the 411. We're covering everything in the football world. Just a couple guys in a basement with nothing better to do. Boys, how we feeling this week?
It's I got 10. The energy. It's 10.
It's episode
Dude, it's
10.
so cool seeing the Roman numerals and counting down and then seeing
X.
We made it, boys. Love doing this with you guys.
How we doing?
How are you, Mike?
It's a Wednesday night, by the way.
Yeah,
Happy
weird.
Wednesday.
We always
Weird.
record on Friday nights. This is weird. I mean, we gotta wake up and go to school tomorrow. I
Yeah.
mean,
You know, good to be here.
oh my god,
Wouldn't
the
rather be
entire
anywhere
day,
else.
I look, I'm like, we have a podcast.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Good
Oh my
de-stressor
God.
from midterms.
It really is.
Me and Pat got midterms coming up
Yes,
next
sir.
week, so
I
we're
forgot.
gonna de-stress from
I
that.
don't take midterms. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the man.
We got a pretty good divisional pod coming up for you. We're gonna start off A and B, and then we're gonna hop into games of the week and then our own divisional
In our opinion,
analysis.
we think that
in our
this
opinion.
game is
So,
going to be the game.
game of the week in our opinion. Seahawks Pack, absolutely.
Seahawks pack.
Seahawks Pack. You ever heard Go Pack Go?
I've heard go back go out, but I've never heard
Oh, I
someone
always
refer to
my
it
my family
as
always does.
pack.
I always.
I
my
don't
Oh, yeah,
family
Seahawks
always-
and
I don't want
pack.
to say anything,
Oh,
but
alright.
Oh no. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
All right.
Oh, I've heard that so many times.
All right.
we got the
Maybe
season
you're
of
just
packs.
maybe you're just a noob.
Packs.
Yeah.
All right.
Then we're gonna hop into Chiefs Texans analysis, Vikings Niners, and Titans Ravens.
Absolutely.
Never thought we'd be saying that. Oh God.
Hey, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
And then we got our finish it off with 2-minute warning and top 3 candies this week.
And we still have our brackets.
Yeah, so we're gonna be filling out our brackets as we go along, as we make our predictions. So Michael,
Absolutely.
A and B me.
A and B.
A and B me.
I always forget about A and B. I always just want to
Me-
dive
me
into
too.
it. I always forget about it.
So
We're
this
good.
week.
Good.
What's up? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This week, really pressing matter. Tom Brady.
Yep.
Tom Brady. So he confirmed today that he is playing next year. He said, "I'm coming back next year." Is he playing A in a Patriots uniform or B in another
I
uniform?
hate to say it. It's the worst choice I've ever made, but he's not gonna. I don't think he'll be a Patriot next year.
You got to think about this, dude. I want you to just think about this. You think he wants his last pass as a Patriot to be a pick six?
I don't. But
He's not leaving.
I don't
He's not
think
leaving.
that. But I don't think that's enough to sway him in one direction. or the
Imagine him
other.
playing for the Dolphins.
I can't see
Or
him in any other
what's another
uniform.
team that really needs a quarterback?
Well, no,
Bengals?
No,
Bengals.
No,
Imagine
they're
if
going
he's
to
going-
get Burrow. They're probably going to get Burrow
Yeah,
off
facts.
the
The
draft.
Bengals are gonna get Burrow. The two teams that I think.
Yeah,
he's
who would
gonna
like
go to.
who?
So the Chargers are the front runner. Those not
Yeah.
front runner yet because there's
But-
no sweepstakes yet.
He'd be
but
back in California.
It's his hometown.
Exactly.
There's been a lot.
Well, it's not his
of talk
hometown.
about him going there.
San
mi-
Fran is his hometown.
A few miles away from his mansion.
He
Yeah.
rooted for the Niners when he was a kid. He was at
Yeah.
the game where the catch
But
happened.
he's not gonna go to Jimmy Garoppolo. So.
Of course not.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh my God.
I have nothing to back it up. I guess, he sold his house. His trainer, Alex Guerrero, sold his house. His dad doesn't think that things are going to end well in New England. I have nothing else to say. It sucks. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's
Yeah.
just,
I
I don't think he's going to be back.
It's a tough topic to talk about.
It's kind of going to be like his hometown hero, Joe Montana. Montana, what team did he play for?
Niners,
Do you know who he played for at the end of his career?
Chiefs.
And the Raiders.
Yep.
The Raiders
Yeah.
was the tail end.
Yep.
The
Elway-
Raiders. Really? The Raiders?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't
didn't
even
know
know
the
that.
same thing for Brady. Elway went out on top. He won a Super Bowl and he left. It's the best way to go out.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if I'm a
Didn't Manning
non-Patriots
do
fan,
the same thing?
yes, he did.
Yeah.
As a non-Patriot fan, I wish Brady retired last year.
Me too. Well,
You go out on top.
as a non-Patriots fan, okay.
As a Patriots
Yeah.
fan, you don't want him to leave. I don't want him to leave this year either, but I think he will. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting.
He's going there.
All right. Who wants to start out? Seahawks Packers.
I'm going to toss it off to
Oh, you
Mike.
go.
I want Mike
Go
to
for
start.
it. Go for it.
Mike, start it off, man.
Okay, so I don't have too many stats because I don't think this is gonna be a very stat-based game. I think it's gonna be more like
Okay.
I
home
have a few
field,
stats, so-
I don't know, it's over that. So obviously, you have the two great quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I think they're top 5 in my opinion. I think Wilson's better than Rodgers right now, but Packers just lay it out. Packers are home. And they're
Sorry
4-point
to
favorites.
interrupt. Do you think Rodgers is better than Wilson's better than Rodgers right now, or
No, Rodgers has the longer career,
Okay.
so obviously Rodgers. And he has the stats to back it up.
Mhm.
I think Seattle. I just think they have too many injuries, honestly, and they can't compete with a fresh
Yeah.
Packers team in Lambeau. I mean, if Seattle can barely beat an injury-riddled Eagles team with Josh McCown, the 40-year-old guy, in his playoff debut, and they could just squeeze by a win, because that was a close game.
Mhm.
The score doesn't really tell the whole story. And there's no way they could beat Aaron Rodgers and company. Seattle ranks 26th in Pat's defense, where Green Bay ranks 14th. And one important thing, Green Bay leads this game, but if they lead this game by a good amount early, Green Bay ranks 27th in the NFL in fourth quarter points. They average 5 a game. That's 5th least in the NFL. Seattle ranks 8th most. They average 7.5 points in the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
If Green Bay leads by a lot, they can run it down Seattle still.
I have a feeling that Green Bay's going to get a lead and that they're going to get
Aaron
early.
Rodgers
interesting?
could
Early.
give it off to Aaron Jones a lot.
Yep.
And
I'm going to talk about that when
So
I
you
get
think
to
this is
mine.
going to be a more run-heavy game or a pass-heavy game?
Run.
for
Well, it
Green Bay's
depends.
offense?
Run.
I think at the beginning, I think for Aaron Rodgers, I think it's gonna be a huge pass. I think it's just gonna be maybe even 8 straight throws. Honestly, I think it's gonna be very
Okay.
pass heavy at the beginning. But if they start to lead by a lot, I think they're gonna
Obviously, they'll
change
calm
up
it
to
down, give
Aaron
it to
Jones.
Jones.
I don't know.
And that might be obvious, but I think it's gonna be more prominent in this game. Because Seattle is 22nd in run defense, giving him 118 yards per game. Nothing right home about.
Nothing right home about.
So you think this is going to be a really pass-heavy, at least start for Rodgers?
At
I
the
think
beginning.
Rodgers comes
At
out
the
throwing.
beginning. In the
Okay.
past month, DK Metcalf for the Seattle, obviously, he's emerged as the number 1 receiver in Seattle.
Mhm.
I
And
think,
you know what? I was going to talk about that with Lockett. As crazy as that is, and Lockett's had a good season, but Metcalf has just been so explosive. You know, it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy to think that
last week he
he's
had
a rookie.
7 catches, 160 yards. I mean, in a touchdown. I mean, the guy's no joke.
I wrote him off at the beginning when he got drafted.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, he's
You
just
said
big,
he was all combine.
Mhm.
all
Yep,
combine."
and most people, not most, I would say a good amount of people were saying he's all combine.
Right.
I think that might hurt Seattle, though, him being the number 1, because Lockett just hasn't had a very big role in the offense. And when he has a big
Hold
role,
on.
they
Hold
win.
on. Lockett has had a huge role.
I
in the
said in the
offense
past
this year.
month.
Okay.
In the past month, he has
Okay.
not. So
You know,
statistically, he has
I
not.
have his.
The Packers have won 10 out of the last 12 games, including 5 straight going into the bye they had last week.
Very important.
And I think... Oh, this is yours.
Sharpie
I
it
think
in.
they're going to make it 6 straight at home, and I think they go to the NFC Championship.
All right.
I have Green Bay winning 31-21.
I like that call.
Interesting.
Can I
Go
take
for
away
it.
from
Yep.
here? All right, so very similar to Mike. There's no doubt that this week, I like to give an X factor every week. It's got to be Russell Wilson. He's easily carried that team to beat the Eagles. No doubt in my mind. Look at the numbers. Michael, look at the numbers. 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. Carry.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say
One thing
I'd say
I would
Metcalf
note-
is up there.
One thing, fair. One thing I would note is that the Packers rank 23rd as a rush defense in the league, so they need to find a way definitely to contain the run, which I think it will end up being doable because Marshawn Lynch is no Slim Jim. He's just, but strange enough, the Packers allowed the 3rd least rushing yards to quarterbacks, which is very
many yards?
interesting. No. The Packers as a defense, they allowed the 3rd least rushing yards to quarterbacks, which is really interesting. So I do believe that Wilson's run game can be stopped. Not the pass. DK Metcalf last game, 7 receptions, 160 yards and a touchdown. And Lockett being, you were just talking about, strangely a secondary kind of that week. But I think the explosive, and I'm going back and forth, but I think the explosive offense of Aaron Jones, Rodgers, Devontae Adams. I think Aaron Rodgers off a bye week.
But outside of them, outside of the 3 you named, who else is really there that you can go for, you can go to for a
And
clutch pass?
I'm gonna rebuttal. Who else do you need?
I mean, I think it's pretty evident in the if you compare them to the Patriots. Patriots had Edelman, Brady,
Wasn't playing well, getting old.
and
Was injured a lot.
Dude,
Edelman-
Adams did not have that great of a year.
He had a pretty good year.
He had 997 yards. You would think he'd have close to 1,300. It's Devontae Adams. He was primed for a breakout season.
I think those
Yeah, he
3
went really
guys.
high on our draft, I thought.
He did. Yeah. All 3 guys.
10 or 11.
I think all 3 guys, they have what they need. I think the rest, being home at Lambeau is just enough for them to squeak by. I'm calling a close game. Packers win 28-24.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Sorry, before you go. What top three would you rather have? Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams, or Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and Michael Thomas?
Like this season,
Sure.
Drew Brees, Michael Thomas,
Me too.
Kamara, easily. I think in all three of those categories, all three of them are better. I think Brees is a better quarterback than Rodgers right now.
Yeah, right now.
I completely agree. So yeah, I got
No,
Packers.
Jones over Kamara.
Maybe this
I agree.
season. Maybe this
I
season.
agree.
Maybe this season.
Jones
Neil,
over Kamara.
take it away, brother.
So I kind of want to hop into my Vikings-Niners analysis.
Okay.
Okay.
So I've got a lot of stats on this one. I know you guys did more like conversational analysis based. So Vikings win in New Orleans last week, 7-point underdogs, led for the majority of the game, and then finished off the Saints 26-20 in overtime. I really want to start just by breaking down these teams. So offensively, Vikings are 16th with 353.5 yards per game, 8th with 25.4 points per game, 23rd with 220 passing yards per game. And this was a really interesting stat too. 13th with 27.6 seconds per play, which nobody really talks about, like the time they're on the field. It's just not talked about a ton. Niners, what? What?
Seconds per play?
Seconds per play?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the seconds per play is. It just matters if you get the ball down the goddamn field.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Time matters.
He got
Time matters
He,
so much.
He scrambled for 15 seconds, but he got sacked at like the 2. Oh, but the time
No. Time combined with all the other things matters.
What are the
Come
other
on.
things? What are the other combined with what?
Okay, combined with yards per game, points per game, passing
Well, yeah,
yards per game,
those things.
rushing
Alright,
yards
dude,
per
let's
game.
be real.
No
We
shit.
can't-
Offensive
Yeah.
yards per play. I combined with all of those things. Yeah, it
But
matters.
time per play does not matter. Maybe it lasts like 2 minutes of each game in like each half. Yeah, maybe, but not like
Rattle
10 minutes
off that
left in
stat
the
again. I just
first
want to make sure I'm
quarter.
hearing it.
Okay, all right. Do you want me to combine all of them or just the time?
Just say
Okay.
that one more time, just so I can understand.
13th in the league.
Yep.
With 27.6 seconds per play.
If they're like
Off
number
a pace.
1 or 2 or like 31 or 32, I'd be like, okay.
I see what he's saying. I think it's because maybe they like hurry up, maybe they move the clock well, maybe they're good in the clutch. I kind of see what he's saying, and I think maybe in a tight close game it might come through for them.
Especially because the Niners take long. What? The Niners take long.
I'm trying to help.
That's the worst.
I'm trying to help
That's
you,
the
man.
worst.
Continue.
All right. I'll hop into Niners. So they're fourth with 381 yards per game. Second with 30 points per game. Second with 144 rushing yards per game, and second with 6 offensive yards per play. I think, at a glance, obviously we're going with the Niners, but I also wouldn't rule out the Vikings defense either.
Absolutely. I had them for fantasy this year. They're pretty good.
Yeah, fifth
Kirk
in.
Cousins can't play in prime time. I don't care what happened last week.
No.
Okay, hold on. So what was last week? Not primetime?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying that doesn't.
Away?
It doesn't take
In
anything
a
to go
stadium,
into
in
Drew
an
Brees'
indoor
stadium, just beat
dome
him
where
in
you
overtime.
can't hear and every quarterback is going like this to here? Are you kidding me? That's not primetime?
I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, because he won that, then.
Not saying
just
that either.
Smooth.
You know, I was
not saying that either.
I was reading this thing.
There are
and
more reasons.
Even though I have the Niners in this, I kind of want Kirk Cousins to win just to silence him, because I read
Sure.
this. I read this thing that was like, you know, when is Kirk Cousins? When is he gonna get a win that's gonna say, okay, this guy is like
Legit.
legit?
The Super Bowl. NFC Championship. A wild card game does not justify whether he can play
If
in
he
the clutch
makes
or
it
not.
to the Super Bowl, I'll say he's legit. If he
Okay.
wins this game and then goes to the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
he's legit.
no, God, I'm not gonna have this argument. A wild card does not justify whether you are clutch quarterback.
Didn't say
or
it.
not.
I didn't say
I
that
know
at all.
you're not. No, I know you're not.
But the argument,
But, like,
the argument
no, I
you
didn't
made
either.
was
I'm
that
just-
like he can't perform in prime time. Well, he just did.
I'm just saying he was a very slept-on guy this year, and nobody
Performing on prime time,
gave him the time
performing
of
in the
day.
clutch.
And
It's
you know
the
what?
same thing.
I didn't give him the time of day either.
Yeah,
I've said
no,
numerous
I'm still not
times.
giving him the
I've
time
said
of day.
numerous times in previous podcasts. This guy is very overrated. And you
Yeah.
know what?
And I think
Yeah.
for
Prove
me
you,
wrong.
For you, I think it died down gradually. I think you had a little bit more like, for
I
lack
tr-
of a better term, respect for the guy.
I agree.
But
I think as the season progressed, I figured out, you know, his numbers are up. He's playing well, and I gave a
just to
little more
settle
respect
this,
for him.
I'm not hopping on the Kirk Cousins train.
I'm not
anytime
either.
soon. Just
I'm
Me
not
neither.
either.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
I have Niners in this. Anyone can see the Niners as a favorite team. Vikings are power ranked second best team remaining in the NFC playoff picture. Obviously, 49ers are first.
They haven't. Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Over
the
Seattle
Packers?
and Packers.
I don't know. Seattle's going to lose this week. That was a fluke win last week. If Jadeveon Clowney doesn't
I
target
honestly agree.
Carson Wentz, they win that game.
I
all
agree.
time.
Yeah.
And McCown even played okay. He played all right, but Carson Wentz is a much better quarterback.
Yeah, over-under for this game is 45.5. I got the Niners by touchdown.
You got over-
28-24.
It's kind of low.
You got over or under?
I
I'm gonna
have
say
over by
over.
just slightly.
I'm going to say
Okay.
over by like a good amount.
If I was a betting man, I'd go under. I think these are two good.
Under.
I think these are two solid defenses.
Interesting. Yeah, I went 7 wins over.
Yeah, but the 49ers, when it comes to like big games, they always give. No, actually, 49ers don't have a good defense right now. They're 27th in the NFL in less
Yeah.
than 8 weeks.
Okay. Yep.
And whenever they're in a big game, I'll bring up the Saints for a second. 48-46.
Yeah.
I would say the San Francisco has a pretty good defense. They still give up 46 points.
Right.
So
I think that is important. And can I start off my
Yeah, go
analysis
for
on
it.
this?
absolutely.
And I said it before. In my first note, I wrote, "Wow, was I wrong?" Kirk Cousins, man, 242
Just to
yards.
put it out there, we were 2-10 last week in our predictions.
Interesting.
0-4.
fantastic.
0-4.
Oh, no.
I was 1-3.
Yeah, actually, I was one of the. You were 0-4. Me and Michael were 1-3.
I was 1-4.
I know that's,
You both were 1-3.
that's what I said. Yeah.
You said Neil. You said Michael.
Whatever.
It's been a long day.
242 yards, 1 touchdown. Most importantly, as we were saying, no matter what way he slices, he got it done when he needed to. So let's dive into the actual, let's dissect the game. The pass offense for the Vikings is 6th in the league. By lead of the dual threat of Diggs and Thielen, they've clearly proven that they're no joke. And look, is that all for Cousins to take credit for? I think Thielen.
Cook had a better game than Cousins.
I agree. It's interesting to see because you wonder, do you does the credit go to Cousins or Thielen and Diggs for the success of the Vikings? What thoughts? It's interesting to think about.
See, I know I'm contradicting myself. I'm gonna lean towards more Cousins just because Thielen was injured for a good amount of the season, and Diggs has been extremely spotty. I mean, some games he puts up like 200, the next one he puts up like 20 yards. I mean,
Yeah.
he's hot and cold. You
Yeah.
know better than anybody. He had him in fantasy.
Absolutely.
He's hot and cold, so I'm gonna lean towards Cousins because Cousins has been statistically
But cautiously
more
lean towards
consistent.
him. I see what you're saying.
Cautiously. Slightly. That can sway.
Right. I see what
You
you're
know?
saying. So on the other side, the pass defense for the Niners has been solid. Michael, they're actually 7th in the league for their pass defense. So they're not.
Well, yeah. Then if you want to bring up that, you can also bring up the Patriots' first 8 weeks where they faced nobody.
I'm
and
sure you're
their
right.
Defensive
Yeah.
statistics were
Richard Sherman leading the
raised
charge,
a
but
lot.
Dalvin Cook is 100% my X factor this week. Last week, and I completely agree with you that Dalvin Cook had a better game than Cousins. 28 carries, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I say they go very run heavy this week.
100%. I think you have to against a Seahawks defense that has been fantastic with stopping the run. I think that's going to be important. I think an important part of this game, and that will follow here, especially when you're away again, is going to be the clock. The Vikings controlled 36 minutes of the game to the Saints 27 in the wild card, and I think controlling the clock and really being able to run Cook is going to be a really important aspect of this game. So I think if you eat clock, you run it to Cook, tick, 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 keep the clock going. It's
So
going to be
time does matter.
in this circumstance. It
I
does.
win.
Nope, you
Nope,
don't.
false.
False. You're
Stupidest
completely
stat
wrong.
I've ever heard.
Stupidest stat I've ever
I
heard.
thought it was cool.
Stupid. So I actually have the Vikings knocking off
Dumb.
the 1 seed.
idiotic.
It's not idiotic.
Stupid.
I think it's. I like
Stupid.
it. I have
not
them
true.
knocking off the 1
Will
seed.
never
Do
happen.
you follow Freezing Cold Takes on Instagram?
That's
I
one
hope
of them.
they see this.
I
and
have
just
them
watch
knocking
that.
off the 1 seed 17-13.
That's just
Dumb. Also,
17
even a
to
bad
13.
prediction.
Ludicrous.
You can't get much
17 to
worse than that.
13.
All right, I'm gonna hop into it. This is kind of like the 49ers postseason debut.
yeah.
They
Oh, so
haven't-
I gotta make. All right. So I already. All right. Go. I got it. We're chilling.
Thank you. So they haven't made it in a while. Obviously, it's been like 5 or 6 years, and a lot of these players are young and haven't had that postseason experience. I think they're ready for it. Jimmy G's gonna light up this Minnesota defense, who ranks 15th in the league against the pass. Cousins, on the other hand, got what seems like his first primetime win, but I think that's the only game he will win for at least this year.
Interesting.
San Fran is surprisingly first against the pass. I don't think that's going to stand up, though. I think Cousins is going to have a better game.
Yep.
49ers, they're hot right now, as Pat has said in past
No,
weeks.
no doubt in that, man. Absolutely.
And I think they're finding their name throughout these last few weeks also.
100%.
I think they've learned to lean more towards Kittle.
Yes. And you know what? Sorry to interrupt. You know what I think is really important? They earned that bye. They beat the Seahawks, a good team, a talented team. They earned it
By like a quarter of a yard.
They-
You watched that game? It came down
I watched
to a
it.
quarter of a yard.
I was in New Hampshire watching it, and I was like, oh my god, the poor Seahawks.
It was
They had to
unreal.
play the way. And honestly, those are two good teams. I really like watching both of them play. But the Niners, they're no joke. And I remember
Absolutely.
in one podcast we were talking about, we were like, are the Niners legit? Like, we were like
Well, that was
questioning
a while ago.
No,
that was like the. I think, was that the first or second podcast?
it's like the second
That was a
podcast.
while ago.
But what I'm saying, it wasn't crazy to say, but like it's funny looking back on it. Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, these guys are legit.
Exactly.
So it's interesting.
So yeah, Kittle. I think they lean on him more than the wide receiver core, and that's obviously helped them out a lot.
Right.
They really only have one playmaker on that offense. If you really think about it, it's Kittle, which could cause problems in upcoming weeks.
Yeah.
This is the same reason why I think Seattle also won't make it past this round
They can
against the
game plan.
Packers.
Yeah.
Because outside of Russell Wilson, I can't say we're gonna go to this guy for that 3rd and 10.
What about Lockett and Metcalf?
I don't have Metcalf's a rookie. I don't trust
There's
rookies.
no complete confidence that he couldn't choke under pressure. Or he couldn't. I see what you're saying.
Lockett, as we've said 1,000 times in this podcast, hasn't been the Lockett he was earlier this year. So, Lockett's
Continue.
good.
I'm going to check the stats on that. Continue with what you're
Alright,
saying.
so I got the 49ers over the Vikings. Stupid Pat. 28-13. I think they're gonna win decisively at home. 49ers. They're
Yeah.
6-2.
Yeah.
at
No, I have
home.
Lockett. So Lockett is
Vikings are 500 away.
Lockett's 82 receptions this year for
No,
1,000.
I'm not saying the entire. I'm not saying the entire year. I'm saying over the past.
Oh.
there was kind of a drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had
He had 2 touchdowns in the past 1, 2, 3, 4. He only had 2 touchdowns in the last 8 games. So the second
Look
half
at
of
his
the season.
yardages, dude. He had one game. He had 0 yards. on 4
Yards
targets.
26, 38, 0, 43, 120, 12, 51, 62. You're right.
If you read out slow, he doesn't have a game over 70 except for 1.
Oh my God! Listen to this beginning of the season. You see 154, 100, 152, 75. Just
That's
crazy.
my point, dude. He was great in the beginning.
Yeah.
He was
But they were
bad
also
at the
playing.
back end.
They were also playing teams like Cincinnati,
Yeah, but you can't
Pittsburgh, Arizona, Cleveland, Atlanta. I'm agreeing with you in saying that they probably weren't playing
Absolutely,
rinky-dink teams.
but still, I mean, I don't. Okay, so then more to your point.
That's what I'm saying.
We're tag teaming this right now.
Yep.
He doesn't perform well
I guess
against
Numbers don't lie.
solid defenses. So do you trust him against solid defenses? Stats
Michael,
show.
you've persuaded me. I numbers don't lie. I'm with you, Mike.
All right, who's hopping into Chiefs Texans? Who wants to start off?
Pat actually has Chiefs Texans.
Go for it.
Chiefs Texans. All right, boys. So last time these two teams faced off, the Texans actually won 34-21 in Week 6. Very interesting. 192 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. That's crazy. You got to think about that.
Yeah.
And he very much beat the Chiefs because his legs in the running game. You see what I'm saying? I think that's going to be really important. Carlos Hyde over 100 yards, and congratulations to Carlos Hyde on his first 1,000-yard season this year. Very nice. Duke Johnson that game averaged 7 yards per carry, so I seriously think there's a dual threat. Just very explosive. I think there's no secret. The weakness in the Chiefs.
He did play Week 6. I was thinking, did he play Week 6? Because remember, he was out for a few
Yes,
games.
he did.
He
He
did.
did.
That's right.
I think there's no secret that the weakness in the Chiefs' defense is definitely stopping the run. In the Chiefs' 4 losses, all of their opponents' backs went over 100 yards in all 4 of their losses.
Wow.
So this is definitely going to be an aspect of the game that has to come out of the running game if the Texans want to pull this upset. And when it comes to the pass, the Chiefs are actually 4th in the league, and they've had the fewest yards. They allow the fewest yards in the NFL to wide receivers.
They've been really slept on defense
A
this year.
very slept-on defense. So when I think about all of these things, I assume that Hopkins is going to be game planned for.
Well, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course he's going to, of course he's going to be game
Yeah.
planned for. But I think even more so with this kind of slept-on talented D. So Watson is going to have to move around in the pocket, and if not pass, use his legs. But on the other side of the things, the Chiefs have the fifth best passing defense in the NFL statistically. They're really explosive. But the X factor for me, as you were saying with Kittle, Travis Kelce. I think Kelsey's going to be really important. With a probable double team on Hill, Kelsey's going to be a huge factor. It's going to be a shootout. I got the Chiefs by a small margin. I'm saying 30-28.
Wow.
I got them in a close
Another
one.
thing to add in.
In Arrowhead.
This game's in Arrowhead. Perfect.
Yep.
Where was that game that you were talking about earlier? Where they lost 31-24.
Was it at
In
Houston?
Arrowhead.
Oh, it was
In Arrowhead.
interesting.
Yep. So Texans have proved they can win there. Do it again.
Okay.
So,
Do you want to hop in?
Sure. So
Yeah.
obviously it's a battle of the great QBs.
100%.
Right? Watson, Mahomes.
Yep.
Maybe best two in the AFC. Mahomes has been awesome this entire year, and Watson, he's the reason the Texans are playing this week. I mean, let's be real. He won that game. He won the season for them. So let's just compare the two. And disclaimer, because Mahomes missed a few games, I'm just going to compare their individual averages. Even though Mahomes has more yards than Watson in 2 less games, which I still think is unreal. So Mahomes averages more yards per game. Watson has a higher...
Passing yards or is he,
Passing yards.
passing yards? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Excuse me. Watson has a higher completion percentage, and they have the same touchdowns, but again, Watson did it in 2 more games. And Mahomes has a higher rating. Edge, Mahomes. Chiefs also have a way better O-line and defensive line, so they win the both battle of the trenches, which is huge in a game that can come down to who has more sacks, which the Chiefs have actually...
It's gonna come down to crossing your T's and dotting your I's.
Exactly.
I completely agree.
Edge, Chiefs. What I think is the most important is the battle of the defenses. In my opinion, and Pat touched on it before, the defense is very close to the offense in skill for the Chiefs. Think about it. Houston gives up the 5th most yards.
Let me hear the stats.
Chiefs are 17th. Houston allows 6 yards per play, which is the 3rd most. Kansas City gives up 5.4, which is 13th. Kansas City averages the most takeaways per game
In the NFL. Interesting.
Edge to the Chiefs.
Sounds like every edge is going to the Chiefs right now, Mike.
All 3 of them.
Yeah.
So I've got the Chiefs over Houston. And
Sharpie it in, Mike.
Actually, I didn't know the last game ended 31-24. My prediction is 31-24.
Mine too.
So,
Interesting.
I got Chiefs over Texans.
What do we got next? Titans Ravens.
Titans-Ravens.
Absolutely.
Let's do it, man.
Go for it.
All right, so I'll start this one off, and I think this is going to be... Everyone's expecting a blowout, and I think it's going to be a better-ish game than most people think. Of course, Titans are off a win.
It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. We're back next
But you know what? I might be just a salty Patriots fan.
That's me.
It wasn't an impressive win.
It was an extremely impressive
It
win.
was not an impressive win.
It was an impressive win.
It wasn't. Of course,
They dominated the clock. They keep the Patriots off the field. They held them to
on the
0
coaching, they
second
dominated
half
the clock
points.
with the punt and the
Yeah,
coach
but no,
kept
think about the
taking-
entire game, dude. They had 15 more minutes of possession.
Minute 2
Okay.
within
They
the-
held the Patriots to 0 points in the second half. Brady threw a pick. Granted, it was at the end of the game. Who cares? Still threw a pick. He was held under 300 yards. Was he held under 200?
Maybe.
I think he had 195. He was held under 200
Keep talking,
yards.
I'll check.
Michelle didn't play that well.
Yeah.
They made it within. Pats made it within
Derrick Henry had 205 yards.
5 yards. I
200,
was watching with you guys.
209 yards.
29? He had
Yep.
barely over 200 yards.
I was watching with you guys, and they got within the 5-yard line, Pats. And they're like, everyone's like, oh no, this is no brainer. Getting a touchdown. I was like,
Yeah, Burkhead got it down to the 1.
well, no,
3-0.
we're
We're
not
gonna
gonna
win.
score here.
That's right.
And we just settled for a field goal.
And it's interesting because I think I just don't feel like it was impressive. And I think against a defense like the Ravens, and you put Ryan Tannehill in there, who all he did
78 yards. And
all he did in the game was go like this.
Yeah.
And hand it off to Derrick Henry, who, hey,
204 yards.
kudos, he won that game, dude.
I have been waiting.
Kudos to Derrick Henry. He beat us fair and square. The dude is a freaking juggernaut, dude.
Yeah,
He's huge.
I've been waiting for him to actually show his skills in the NFL for was this his 4th year now? Crazy. I was like, because a lot of guys when they come out of college, they're just not ready for the NFL. Like they're not developed enough. They're not skilled enough yet. They're not ready to play at the big
At
leagues.
that level.
And this year he showed up.
It's very interesting. I agree. And you know, once again, it's my big thing. Numbers don't lie. 34 carries. Let's start with that. 34
I predicted
carries.
30 carries.
crazy.
I saw that happening.
34
The Patriots' run defense
carries,
sucks.
182 yards, and 1 touchdown, and 5.4 yards per carry. And you got to think about it. That's counting all like the little like stuff that the Patriots did. Excuse me, all the stuff that the Titans did just to run the clock.
Yeah, that's my
5.4 yards per carry,
That's including like the 3-minute drive.
including the 3-minute drive of them just going like this and him just kind of
and like diving down,
running and diving and just killing the clock.
Let me take that off. It's like 7 yards per carry.
Amazing. And look, kudos. He won that game.
He did.
Ravens defense is ranked first in the league in almost in a lot of categories. Jackson lights out, 36 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions this year. What are we thinking, boys? What do you think about this game? Is it going to be a shootout? Is it going to be a blowout? Thoughts?
Well, Baltimore, they're obviously favored to win. I mean, 10-point favorites. They had a bye, fresh and ready to go. But let's compare these teams. Okay, Baltimore averages 33 points per game, which is most in the league. Tennessee averages 25, which is 10th. Baltimore averages 407 yards per game, which is 3rd.
Yep.
Tennessee averages 362, which is 12th. So don't even look at the yards, just look at the ranks. So you have 1st and 10th, 3rd and 12th. Baltimore's 1st in rushing yards, Tennessee is 3rd. So it's going to be a run-heavy game.
I
Maybe
agree.
like upwards of like 50 carries combined. 50,
Combined, maybe,
55 carries.
Yeah,
So I think this game is going to truly come down to who can ever, run the ball better.
I agree.
Derrick Henry.
Well, I mean, hold on. Do you have the Titans winning this game?
No.
Well, who can run the ball better? I think Derrick Henry is a better running back than Ingram.
Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill or Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram.
Different. When you say running with running backs, if you say that's what it's going to
I
come.
said run game. I was very
Run game.
very
particular about your
general.
words. I see.
So Derrick Henry completely obliterated the Jets' run defense.
Yeah.
Who allowed the 8th least
Last
rushing
2
yards
years.
to running backs this year. So hold on, just listen to 8th least. They allowed the 8th least rushing yards. The Ravens only allowed 93, which is 4th least, right?
Yep.
But I don't think that Derrick Henry is going to have a hard time if the Titans don't give up on the run game if it fails at the beginning. I found this stat, I thought it was very interesting. Henry always tends to play better in the second half. He averages 4.1 yards per carry in the first half.
Which is I remember you talking about that. We watched the game together. You did mention
He
that.
got stronger as the game went on. He averages 5.8 yards per carry in the second half. It's almost 2-yard difference.
Yeah,
right.
Interesting.
As good as Tannehill is, the offense runs through Henry. When they win, when the Titans win, he averages 5.7 yards per carry. When they lose, 3.8. Big difference.
Yeah.
So for this huge underdog to win, as the Titans, they need Henry to get going, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think the Ravens, they're going to win in a relatively low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people are anticipating, 21-17.
You know what's interesting? And I think back to the Patriots game. A.J. Brown was not utilized. And maybe it's because he was
He didn't need to
shit.
be.
all.
I
He
guess
did
so.
have 78 yards. Tannehill.
I mean, dude, you
Yeah.
always need to be. What do you mean he didn't need to be? To beat
Well-
the Patriots, yeah.
No, he didn't.
Well,
he did not have to be.
He didn't
used.
have to be.
Obviously, but it's not like they game planned for that. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Oh,
they're not like,
obviously not.
it's the Patriots.
Obviously not.
We're
but
fine. No.
Obviously not. But midway through the third quarter, when the Titans figured out, hey, they didn't figure out how to stop Derrick Henry at halftime. Like,
Oh,
Well,
they
midway
stuck
through
with
the
it.
third.
If it ain't broke, don't fix
The
it.
Patriots were stopping him in the third.
In the third,
they
when
had him to
stopped him
like
down.
3,
The offense
3.5
just couldn't
yards
do
per carry.
crap.
The offense just could not do anything.
Right.
That's what it
He
came
drops
down
and stuff like that.
to. Exactly.
So what I
God.
think-
it doesn't get enough credit, but Edelman's drop on that 3rd and 6 at midfield or 2nd and 6. If he catches
Yeah.
that ball,
That just changes the dynamic.
oh
of
my
the
God,
game.
it really does. They're
Yeah.
they're really close to field goal range. They have a fresh set of downs.
Yeah.
yeah.
Then again, if N'Keal Harry hasn't rolled out, the Patriots, we're talking
Without
about
the
Patriots
bye.
versus someone this week. So,
But I think it's interesting. I think the Titans are going to be able to somewhat game plan for first half, but I think by the second half, I think the Ravens are going to figure them out and run away with it. Ravens win 30-21.
I agree.
Interesting.
Now, I guess 30-21 isn't really running away with it.
30-21.
That's a running away with it.
No, if the spread is 10, and that's
Right.
a 9-point difference. That's not running away with that. I
Right.
have a 4-point difference. I have 21-17.
So yeah, I got to sharpie it in. I got, just to finish it off, I got Chiefs at Ravens and Vikings at Packers.
So wait, I just want to ask a question.
Yep.
If these were to happen,
Yes.
just no analysis, no nothing. I just want one word: Ravens or Chiefs.
Ravens.
San Fran or Green Bay.
Excuse me?
San Fran or Green Bay.
Is that who you're predicting is going to win?
if these were to come out, because
Oh,
Green
Green Bay.
Vikings. I'm sorry,
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Vikings or Green Bay?
Green Bay.
Vikings or Green
Because
Bay?
you have Vikings, right?
Vikings.
Vikings over Green
Vikings.
Bay, huh? So Pat has Vikings going to the Super Bowl.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
all right.
Hey, dude, this is how it works. Dude,
Scorching
you just gotta.
take.
You said no analysis, and next week I'm bringing analysis, baby.
No. We're watching the Vikings game together.
Hell yeah, man. Let's
Vikings
do it.
and Niners are watching that game together.
All right.
I need to watch Kirk Cousins
Like,
get
throw the guy.
sacked every time, less than 200 yards, lose the game by 14, and just see Pat's face.
Just do
That's all I need.
All up to you. Same as last week. Do you want to start out with 2-minute warning and then do
2-minute warning, man.
Let's get into it. So, as a consensus decision, we feel that Seahawks-Packers is the game of the week.
Mhm.
And we all have the Packers, which I think speaks to them being fresh off a bye and just the stats. You know, I mean, Packers, they just look like a better team right now. Seahawks have a lot of injuries in Lambeau.
I think that screwed them more than anything else. You know, I think it'd be a lot more. I think it'd be a lot closer decision. I think people would, not just us, you know, experts in general would be a lot more inclined to pick Seahawks if they weren't so injury-riddled, especially with how strong the running game was earlier in the year.
Yeah, they ran the 5th most run plays in the NFL.
Exactly.
I think back to that Eagles-Seahawks game. It's like they had that game like a hospital. It's just so many injuries on both sides. It's crazy.
Okay, so then we went to the divisionals. Pat covered Chiefs-Texans. Neil got Vikings-Niners. I covered Titans-Ravens. But obviously, we all chipped in. Our own set of knowledge. Neil and I pretty tight in our picks. We got, Ravens, Chiefs, Green Bay, San Fran. Pat won his own route, taking the Vikings. Can't wait for that to backfire. And fill our brackets. And now we're gonna hop into top 3.
Top 3, man.
So I want to start this one off.
Uh-oh.
Because if you're friends with me, there's one candy that I like that everyone else just hates. Pat, what is it?
Neil, it's bottle caps.
Bottle caps.
Bottle caps.
They're like these little soda, like it's pure sugar. It's just
People watching at home.
All right, that's gonna wrap up this podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, my next two are
No,
respectable.
hold on. This is a public service announcement. Do not buy bottle caps.
They're
They are
the
disgusting.
most fantastic things.
Gross.
They're the third most fantastic thing.
Oh
maybe
my
ever.
god, they're so terrible.
So number 2, I got Sour Patch watermelons.
Respectable.
You have a top 3?
I respect it. I respect
Sour
it.
Patch watermelon. I think it's because I have them more frequently than I have like other candies.
Yeah,
I respect
that tends to happen.
Number 1, Skittles. I hadn't had Skittles in a while, and I had.
Marshawn Lynch.
Skittles.
I think he had a few too many Skittles. Oh man.
All right, Pat.
I'll hop in.
Go for it.
Number 3 for me, it's gonna be Airheads. I like Airheads.
Respectable.
Airheads are really good.
Respectable.
Best flavor of Airhead.
Blue.
You know the answer.
You're not going to agree though, so I don't want you to throw something at me.
I also like purple.
I was
grape
gonna
is
say
good,
purple. I was
too.
gonna say purple.
No, me too. I love purple.
I like
No,
purple.
it's red. It's cherry.
Oh,
I was
no.
gonna
always
say red,
cherry.
but dude, stay at your tongue after you have an Airhead.
Fair. It was kind of cool. Kind of like
You are 6
They
years.
always came in the Lunchable.
Yeah, dude. They always came in the Lunchables.
With like that little bottle of like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, man. Number 2, Sour Patch.
Yeah, man.
Sour Patch Kids.
I see.
Sour Patch Kids.
Okay.
I think they're more flavorful. Number 1, Starburst.
More assorted.
No, exactly. Number 1,
You
Starburst.
do love your Starburst.
Starbursts
Yeah.
are good, man. It's my favorite candy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, the best flavor is pink. Red.
No.
I like red
I'm sorry,
candies.
no.
Red candies are super good.
I like pink the most.
I like pink too. It's my number 2. It's really good.
So number 3, Skittles.
Yep. But of course.
Tell us all
Number
this time
2,
itself.
and it's not just because of like the candy itself. It's the sound. Kit Kats.
I like
The
it.
sound, the
A
commercials.
very crunchy candy. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen the Chance the Rapper commercial?
I don't think I have. No.
It's so
I
funny.
feel like I
It's
have,
so
but I
great.
don't remember
it's
it
like,
all.
give me a break.
Just
Just give me a break.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Wow, look at you.
That'll
with
be
vocals.
$20.
And number 1, I got Snickers.
Wow.
Snickers-
Okay.
Snickers
we
satisfying.
went more like
Snickers
I think we went
You're
more
not
like
you when you're
fruity
hungry.
candies.
Well, Snickers and Kit Kat are not necessarily fruity. Skittles, yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying me and Pat.
Oh, I
were
thought you were saying.
A little more like artificial
no.
and less chocolate.
I'm pretty sure all candy are artificial.
I think we just about wrapped up.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, brother.
Good stuff.
Unreal.
Good stuff.
Fantastic episode. I'm Neil.
I'm Pat.
I'm Michael.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah! Boys! All right. Hey, that was good fun. I'm feeling good about that. All right.
Oh, man.